What if I told you the most dangerous thing you could ever do is nothing, no chasing, no explaining, just calm, unshakable silence? Because sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. When someone walks away, disrespects you, or makes you feel replaceable, it hits something deep inside. That ache isn't just pain, it's your ego trying to hold on to what it thought was essential. But strong men don't chase, they don't beg. They observe, they listen. They let others reveal who they truly are. And when someone shows you they can discard you, the answer isn't to prove your worth. It's to remove yourself and rise. Quietly, powerfully, and with purpose. She made her choice. Whether it was confusion, boredom, or chasing something else. That part doesn't matter. What matters is how you show up after that. Most men panic. They text, they plead, they try to fix what was never theirs to fix. But not you, not anymore. You're done proving your value to someone who didn't recognize it. You're not looking back, you're building forward. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It isn't retreat, it's a reset. When you stop speaking, stop chasing, stop explaining, you take back every ounce of power you gave away. Because silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of strength. People fear silence more than they fear anger. Anger is still engagement, so is pain. But silence is emotional clarity. It doesn't feed the ego, it starves it. She expected a reaction, she expected fire, but you gave her calm, you gave her ice, and now she's replaying every moment, questioning every step, wondering why the validation pipeline suddenly shut off. That's the shift. But this isn't about revenge. This is about rebirth. You're not ghosting her to hurt her. You're letting go of the version of you that needed her. You've stopped chasing approval. You've stopped handing over emotional power to someone who didn't protect it. And when you become unavailable, unpredictable, and focused, you become unforgettable. A Stoic man doesn't seek validation. He doesn't explain his worth. He doesn't negotiate with someone who made him an option. He leaves, not with anger, but with understanding. He doesn't chase the table. He is the feast. Silence isn't a game. It's not manipulation. It's mastery. Weakness is explaining your worth to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Strength is walking away with your dignity intact. And when she sits with her reflection, she'll remember the man who didn't flinch, who didn't beg, who spoke the loudest by saying nothing at all. So if you're done being the backup plan, if you're ready to let your silence speak for you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. She didn't lose a person. She lost access. There's a difference. And once you understand that, your silence becomes your power. Nope, that ends now. You don't. Chase people who light fires and expect you to clean up the ashes. You let them sit in the mess they created. If she broke your trust, betrayed your loyalty, or took you for granted, the last thing you do is run after her. Why? Because people don't grow in comfort, they grow from consequence. And your absence is the consequence. You're not here to rescue someone from the emptiness they created. You're not offering closure, not validating behavior that didn't respect you. You're giving space. And in that space, you force her to face herself. Because when you chase, you shield her from the reality of her own actions. You become her emotional cushion. But when you step back, calm, composed, and detached, you make her feel the full weight of her choices. That's when fantasy fades and reality sets in. That's when the silence becomes deafening and guilt walks in. That's when the question echoes in her mind. Did I lose something I'll never get back? But this isn't about teaching her a lesson. It's about reclaiming who you are. You're not a rehab center for people who don't value loyalty. You're not here to fix anyone. You're a man with standards, and once she crossed them, she lost the privilege of your presence. That's not cruelty, that's clarity. You're not punishing anyone, you're prioritizing yourself. And here's something most men never understand. Your silence reflects her damage more clearly than your words ever could. If she can't, Handle that silence if she spirals, if she starts to regret. That's her emotional storm, not yours. You just stay still, stay silent. Let her feel the full depth of what she created. That's where growth begins. Pain is your catalyst, not your curse. It's not your enemy, it's your signal. Heartbreak, betrayal, silence where there was once connection, it all burns. But that burn is a forge. You either let it melt you or use it to rebuild. Most guys try to numb it, drink it away, swipe it away, distract it with attention that means nothing. But a man rooted in Stoicism doesn't run, he doesn't numb, he learns, he sharpens, because deep pain, it's the greatest teacher. It shows you who you gave too much to. It shows you where your boundaries need to be. And once you feel it fully, you'll never hand over that kind of access again. This is the turning point. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can I build from this? Stoicism isn't pretending nothing hurts. It's knowing that no external validation, no love, no attention defines your worth. Pain doesn't break the Stoic. It reveals him. It forces him into the fire so he can rise, stronger, clearer, wiser. She might have expected you to collapse. Maybe you did briefly. But now you rise with a new kind of power. Every time your chest tightens when her name is mentioned, you turn it into fuel. Every memory that stings, every smile that lied, you use it, not for revenge, not for rage, but for building mental, emotional, physical strength. This is your season of transformation. Quiet, ruthless, focused. Don't waste your pain trying to become the man you were before her. That man ignored the red flags. That man tolerated too much. That man's gone. You're becoming someone your past self couldn't even recognize, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. And here's the next truth. Master your emotions, or be ruled by them. Emotions aren't the enemy, but when they own you, they control your decisions, your image, your power. And that's what she expected. She thought you'd spiral, lash out, lose composure. She thought she'd control the narrative, because once you react emotionally, she gets to say, see, he's weak, he needs me. But you're not giving her that story. A Stoic man doesn't deny his emotions, he masters them. You can feel rage, confusion, heartbreak, and still move with precision. You don't let emotions leak out where they can be used against you. You keep them controlled, directed, private, because the second you send that long message, the second you post for her attention, you lose your edge. You become predictable, you become common, and you are anything but. Emotional control doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to protect your power. You respond with logic, not impulse. You don't flinch when she tests you. You don't crumble when you see her with someone else. You stay grounded, because nothing commands respect like a man who cannot be moved by chaos. She wants to believe. You're emotionally wrecked, still thinking about her, still watching her, still talking, but you go silent. You move forward without an audience, and that, more than any speech or outburst, is what cracks her ego. Because the moment she realizes she's no longer a thought in your mind, that's the moment she knows she lost more than attention. She lost access. You can't control what she did, but you can control your response. And that's your true battlefield. Not her DMs, not her choices. Your mind. Win there, and you win everywhere. Detachment makes you dangerous. The moment you truly detach, you become a threat, not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you've finally stopped needing her. You've unplugged your self-worth from her approval. You've shut off the emotional ATM that kept spitting out love, validation, forgiveness, and second chances that were never returned. And when that machine goes offline, everything changes. You become unpredictable. And nothing is more powerful than a man who no longer reacts, no longer chases, no longer needs closure. Detachment isn't bitterness, it's clarity. It's realizing that no matter how much you give, you cannot force someone to value what they're not ready for. It's accepting that some people come into your life to show you exactly what you'll never tolerate again. And this one, she showed you how easy it is for someone to take your loyalty for granted, to misjudge your presence as permanence. She assumed you'd always be there, that you'd orbit her world, waiting, but you didn't. You cut the cord, you launched into your own orbit, and now that she can't read you, she watches harder. She checks your profile, she replays old messages, she notices the silence where attention used to be, and it starts to eat at her, because the version of you that once gave, once chased, once hoped, that man's gone. And in his place stands someone grounded, detached, focused. You're not heartless. You're just done handing your emotions to someone who didn't protect them. That's not emotional shutdown, it's growth. You feel everything, but you're ruled by nothing. And from that place, you can't be manipulated. She can't guilt you. She can't bait you. She can't spin the same stories or play the same tired games, because you've outgrown them. You've evolved. And that evolution forces her to confront herself, maybe for the first time. Here's the twist though. If she ever circles back, it won't be because you chased, it'll be because you didn't. Because you let her walk away without resistance. Because you became untouchable. That's the kind of silence that haunts. Her guilt will come, but only if you stay gone. See, guilt doesn't show up in the highlight reels. At first, she'll look free, empowered, unbothered. She'll post like she's thriving, smile for pictures, laugh louder. But none of that's real. That's just the mask people wear when they want to win the breakup. Guilt creeps in slowly, quietly, when the silence lingers too long. When her phone lights up and it's not your name. When her ego starts to deflate and the attention dries up. That's when it hits. But only if you don't break. Only if you don't reach out, don't check in, don't send that "just wanted" to talk message that resets the emotional clock and robs her of the consequence. Your silence is the space where the lesson grows. If you interrupt it, if you jump in to check on her feelings, you ease the very discomfort that's meant to wake her up. You become her relief instead of her reality. Don't do that. Let the silence stretch. Let it shift from peace to discomfort to reflection to regret. That's the cycle. And when guilt finally hits, it won't be during the loud moments. It'll be in the quiet ones. When she's alone. When she remembers how you looked at her, how you supported her, believed in her. And now, you're gone. Not angry, not bitter, just gone. That's what hits differently. Because she expected drama, expected begging, but you vanished with your dignity intact. And every day that passes, her imagination fills in the blanks. Is he over me? Is he in love with someone else? Did I throw away something rare? That's not revenge, that's reflection, that's guilt replacing ego. And it only happens if you stay silent. Don't chase closure. Your silence is the closure. Don't stalk her page. Don't ask mutual friends. Don't check if she's moved on. Let her feel the stillness like weight on her chest. That's how you win, not with words, not with arguments, but with silence that speaks louder than anything you could have said. Number 7, attention is currency. Starve her. Your attention is currency, and she's been spending it like it's free. Every view, every like, every reply, every time you check her story or react to her post, you're paying her. Not in money, but in validation. And trust me, she knows it. She feeds on it. Because as long as you're still watching, still engaging, still reacting, she's in control. She gets the reward without the work, desire without effort. That ends today. You need to wake up to the market you're operating in. In today's world, attention is power. And when you give it away without purpose, you become worthless in her eyes. Why would she chase what's always available? Why would she value the man who's constantly orbiting her world? The truth is, people don't chase abundance, they chase scarcity. So when you go silent, when you pull back, when your attention disappears completely, you shift from ordinary to rare, from disposable to desirable. She may act like she doesn't Notice, but she does. She feels it, the absence, the void, the energy that used to be hers, now gone. That creates curiosity. And curiosity is magnetic. It pulls harder than words ever could. You're no longer fueling her ego. You're no longer funding her comfort. You've shut off the supply. Now she's left with silence. And silence, that's where her questions begin. Why did he stop watching? Did he move on? Did he finally see his worth? She might throw out bait, posts designed to catch your eye, a thirst trap, a cryptic quote, a nostalgic photo. Don't fall for it. That's not for her growth, it's for her control. Lock the door, stay focused. Every time you resist the urge to check in, you increase your value. You stop being her audience and become her mystery. Starve her of the one thing she always assumed she'd have: your attention, your eyes, your validation. Let her feel the cost of losing access to a man who once gave freely and now gives nothing. Number 8, level up in silence. Success is revenge. You want revenge? Don't text her. Don't subtweet her. Don't try to get back at her through words. Just level up and do it quietly. No warnings, no explanations, just silent, ruthless growth. Because the most painful thing for someone who underestimated you is watching you become everything they never believed you could be without them. Heartbreak is fuel. Let it drive. While she's trying to replace your presence with shallow attention, you're in the dark building something she'll never touch again. A better body, a sharper mind, a tighter circle, a stronger mission. You don't level up to prove her wrong. You do it to prove yourself right, that you were always the asset, that her absence didn't destroy you, it unlocked you. And here's what makes silent leveling up so powerful. She won't see it coming. She'll check your page and see nothing. Ask around and hear you've been off the radar. She'll feel something shifted but won't be able to trace the steps. That mystery, it's torment, because she's no longer in the loop. She's no longer part of your story. She's just a past chapter you stopped rereading. Every hour you used to waste on her, that now goes into your goals. The gym becomes therapy, the grind becomes sacred, the silence becomes strength. You become the man she never imagined she'd lose, and now she can't stop thinking about what she walked away from. But you don't post about it, you don't flaunt it, you let your results speak. And when she finally realizes what she let go of, when she sees the man you've become, it won't matter, because you won't care if she sees it. That's when you truly win. Number 9, don't block her, let her watch you win. Blocking her might give you temporary peace, but silence, letting her watch from a distance as you thrive, that's long-term power. You don't need to erase her, you just need to remove her influence. Let her keep the front row seat, without interaction, without access, without emotional return. Let her scroll and see what she's no longer part of, because here's what happens. She gets a live feed of your elevation, the glow up, the growth, the peace. She sees it, but can't touch it, and that eats at her. Not because you're trying to hurt her, but because she's finally forced to face the truth. She lost a real one. You don't block her, because blocking is closure. Blocking is emotional, and when you're really done, you don't need to close anything. You just move on. No texts, no cryptic posts, no emotional outbursts. Just stillness, calm, focus. She expects you to react, to reach out, to spiral, but you stay silent, and every time she checks, there's nothing. Just the quiet evidence that you're still rising. That's not petty, that's presence. And presence without permission, that's power. She'll see the results. You're stronger, healthier, surrounded by people who actually value you. She'll see that her absence didn't shatter you, it freed you. And the best part, you didn't have to say a single word. That mystery, that glow, that complete detachment, that's what haunts her. And it's not about revenge, it's about proving to yourself that you never needed to erase someone to rise beyond them. You're not bitter, you're just unreachable now. And that's exactly what she never saw coming. Number 10, you were the prize all along. Here's the truth no one told you when she walked away. She didn't break you. She revealed you. She exposed the parts of you that still needed validation, the parts that were willing to shrink, bend, and bleed just to feel wanted. But now that the dust has settled, now that her noise has faded, one thing is clear: you were the prize all along. She didn't leave a weak man. She left a man who hadn't realized his full worth yet. But heartbreak? That was your wake-up call. And now you see it with clarity. You were the one who showed up. You were loyal. You gave effort. You offered depth in a world that rewards surface. And she walked away, not because you weren't enough, but because she wasn't ready for someone who was. Let that sink in. She didn't lose a follower. She lost a foundation. She didn't leave a placeholder. She left a protector. She didn't walk away from weakness. She ran from a standard, and now she finally sees it. But it's too late, because you're no longer the man waiting for closure. You are the closure. You're no longer chasing peace. You are the peace. This isn't just about her anymore. It's about every version of you that waited for validation. Every night you sat staring at your phone, hoping for a text that never came. That pain built this power. That silence created this storm. You don't chase anymore. You choose, you lead, you decide who earns your presence and who never gets a second chance. You were never the option. You were always the standard. And the moment you stopped begging for love and started becoming love, everything changed. You became the calm and the chaos, the test and the lesson, the man she'll never meet again. Even if she comes back, and if you're still here, still listening, then something inside of you just snapped. Not in a desperate way, in a focused, dangerous, and disciplined way. The man you were, he's gone. The man you're becoming, unstoppable. This wasn't just a video. This was a blueprint, a declaration, a wake-up call to every man who's still checking his phone, still hoping she circles back. Stop! She had her chance. She made her choice. Now you make yours. Do you keep chasing ghosts? Or do you rise so far beyond her reach that your memory haunts her more than your presence ever did? Let her wonder. Let her scroll. Let her sit in silence while you shift into a future that doesn't include her. No bitterness, no revenge, just discipline, growth, and complete emotional control. This is Stoicism in motion. This is dark psychology, mastered. This is you choosing power over pain, purpose over people, and presence over obsession. So if you're ready to close that chapter, not just in your mind, but in your life, then do it now. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below right now. The chase ends with me. This is your moment. This is your rise. This is Stoicism.